Let's move on to the next one. We got Kyler Phillips going up against Song Yadong. I'm very much looking forward to this fight. Very, very fun fight. I believe we have Song Yadong as a very slight favorite here. +1. Sorry, I'm just pulling up the odds here. We got -160 on Song Yadong, +140 on Kyler Phillips. Now, Song Yadong, the forever 22-year-old who's been fighting since he was like 12 years old or something, has 21 fights, a wealth of experience before coming to the UFC. And now he's had a bunch of fights against legitimate competition, right? You got guys against like Cody Stamen, Marlon Vera, even the fact that he knocked out Alejandro Perez, very, very impressive. You're talking about Perez, who has an iron chin, and to see him go down like that was very impressive from a Song Yadong standpoint. The qualm that I'm starting to have is that his cardio seems to take a little bit of a hit the further his fights go on. Now, I don't want to take away from the fact that, the reason his cardio looks a little bit hit in these third rounds is because he's having action-packed first and second rounds. So, yeah, you're obviously going to be huffing him about for a little bit come the third rounds, but he gives up the takedowns a little bit too easily later on those rounds. Does a really good job of getting back to his feet and start throwing some bombs in return. But I like the movement and stuff that we see out of Kyler Phillips here. The guy has a karate type of stance, and the improvements that we've seen from his time on The Ultimate Fighter all the way to now is just like night and day. The guy looks like a completely different fighter, and all these people are super heavy on him now. I think Song Yadong still has a high ceiling. I think that Kyler Phillips is on that fast track too in terms of being a guy that skill set is truly coming together at the right time. We mentioned it earlier in this podcast when we were talking about Mario Bautista, but he's going in there, training side by side with guys that are peaking on the same night as him, fighting at a super high level, not to mention his other training partner in Casey Kenny, who's getting ready for Dominic motherfucking Cruz. Like, you got to believe that, Kyler Phillips is coming in here and knowing that this is a shot to truly start to cement himself in that 135-pound division. I like Kyler here to kind of, play the matador, let Song Yadong move forward, throw his big shots, and maybe we get some good shots on the return from Kyler Phillips, and then mix in that black belt that this guy has. The guy is a wizard on the ground as well. So I like what we see from Kyler. His level of competition hasn't been the greatest as of late, so maybe his skills have been exaggerated a little bit. I'm completely writing off the Cameron Else fight. Like, that guy does not belong in the UFC, probably doesn't even belong in the Alaska FC. Like, that guy was just not good. But his win over Gabriel Silva, quite impressive. And Gabriel Silva came in with that, like a poor man's version of what Song Yadong would be fighting like, which is move forward, throw big shots. And Kyler Phillips was doing a good job of just moving on the outside and getting his shots off, mixing in the takedowns when he needed to. But Song is a bright prospect still. I'm staying away from this fight. I do side ever so slightly with the underdog here, and I do think he wins this fight via decision, which currently is lined at Kyler Phillips by decision is +245. Again, I'd need a little bit better of a price tag there to part ways with my money here. But I do side with Phillips. I feel like I'm crazy for picking against Song here, as I'm very high on him. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, so I agree in that it is crazy to bet against Song Yadong, and they're like, man, this guy's going out there and picking up some significant experience. I mean, a win over Marlon Vera, what? The draw with Cody Stamen, who's a fringe top 15 guy. That's big, man. He's only 23 years old, training at Alpha Male now, and making improvements, fighting guys that are top 15, top 10 guys in the division. That's all huge. And he's winning, or at least giving a good account of himself in these fights. But, dude, I'm the guy betting Song Yadong in all these spots, and it ain't easy, man. He lost a Cody Stamen fight for whatever it's worth. He actually got deducted a point in the first round, which should have sealed the loss. The very worst. What's what leads to the draw, but he got taken down by Stamen. He was boxing him up standing, but he just gives up these takedowns routinely. He gives up 5 of them against Stamen. And Stamen's a good wrestler, solid wrestler, not an elite level wrestler. Not saying Kyler Phillips is. I'm saying Song Yadong's takedown defense does leave something to the imagination still. The Marlon Vera fight, here's another one where going to the scorecards could go either way, man. It really could. I scored the fight with Song Yadong personally, but he does start to tire out. And what it becomes is Marlon Vera starts marching him down and outlanding him. But Song Yadong still, Marlon Vera is not quite respecting him. So he allows Song Yadong to land a couple eye-appealing shots, and the judges go with it. You see all the time, it's like, I don't know. Are they trying to protect the Chinese prospect? Maybe, maybe not. But he's young and he's getting experience and he's fighting elite level guys. It's like he is the favorite in the spot. You probably should go with him. But yeah, with Kyler Phillips, his wrestling is good. His cardio is good. Those are 2 weapons that are going to play really good against Song Yadong. As far as the striking goes, that's where Song Yadong does his best work. But Song's really heavy with the technical boxing. He doesn't throw a ton of kicks. He likes to line you up with his punches. So with Kyler Phillips is that he's got good movement and he's quick, but he likes to bounce in and out. If he just tries to play a range game long enough to get the fight to the ground, he could mix it up. I'm worried that if the fight goes to the scorecards and it is close, they're just going to give it to Yadong again, which, again, I could see. But, Yeah, with Kyler Phillips, I mean, earlier in the week he was plus 160. That's where I got him. I think it was plus 160. I didn't go big on it by no stretch. It's he's plus 140 now. A little bit of money's coming in, but yeah, it's like I just think it's more of a 50-50 fight. It's more of a dog or pass. With Phillips, you're right. Oh, dude, guy lost to Brad Katona on the Ultimate Fighter. Canada's own Brad Katona, but he's only 22 years old. Oh, he lost his first fight after the Ultimate Fighter on the regional scene. Like, Victor Henry's legit. Like, he's a really good fighter. Well, he's fought in scrubs since then, right? But he's looked exceedingly good against those scrubs. He's still only 25 now, coming back for his second go-around with a Zuffa promote. Zuffa, what am I saying? Not really a company anymore, but with the UFC, like this is the second time getting in there. I know the Ultimate Fighter is not quite the UFC, but they've allowed him to go back to the regional scene, put some experience together, get a little bit older, mature, and now you come back and it's like, okay, we've already talked about the narrative of having two training partners on the card. That should help him. But also when you think about Song Yadong, it's like, again, because he's got a boxing stance, he's a little flat-footed at times. The calf kick theoretically is there. It's right there. So again, if you could stay to the outside, use the calf kick, get this guy to eventually come forward and overcommit to a combination, and then time it and take him down and just try to do that. The Cameron Ellis fight was bullshit for sure, but it's like he didn't look bad for one single second in that fight. He cruised, unbelievably well, but it was a nobody. Okay, his other fights, well, he's cruising, but it's not against the stiffest level of competition. This is a tough fight, but this is also a 23-year-old. This is also a guy that is young, is green, is learning on the job, arguably lost his last two fights. His last legitimate loss was to an 0-2 Chinese opponent. Like, could you expose a guy like this a little bit? Yeah. Are we overlooking a guy like Kyler Phillips? I think a lot of people are. So I actually agree with your assessment. I had Kyler Phillips, and I think Kyler Phillips by decision. It's a big plus money play. I wouldn't go, not big, but I wouldn't go super, super heavy on it. I'm not super, super confident in it. But the line seems to make sense. Like the money makes sense. Don't just chase money all the time. But I'm going to agree with you here. Kyler Phillips by decision.
Shout out to our guy Brady DFS by the numbers in the chat, asking if Phillips will be able to deal with the power of Song Yadong coming forward to him, like Marlon Vera and Cody Stamen were able to do in their fight. So if he's able to eat those first couple shots, we should get a good indication of how the rest of this fight should go. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out. All right.